to share with you how to get your very first rental Airbnb in 30 days or less. I mean, keys in hand, contract signed. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions in the industry is that people think you have to buy property. How many of you guys, before watching the first thing that I just said, put it in the comments, that you believed you actually had to buy property to get into Airbnb? Put yes or no in the comment section for me. Now here's the reality. Rental arbitrage is simply where we're gonna go rent a place. How many of you guys rent right now? Do you rent where you live? Because if you rent where you live, you know 80-90% is business already. Don't overcomplicate it. The thing about it is this, most people try to overcomplicate the Airbnb business. Watch how simple this is. You're gonna go to a landlord who's in pain. We're gonna talk about that. They're in pain because they can't rent their current place. They're a homeowner, they're trying to rent. They're not able to rent. We come up and we give them an awesome script that basically says everything we do. It talks about the business, it talks about what we do as a company, and boom, landlords are gonna be eating out of your hand to do business. You're gonna contact the landlord, I'm gonna share with you what to say, and you're gonna sign an agreement, an addendum that they're gonna sign that says it's okay to put it up on Airbnb and not live in the property. That's the business model. Rent, get the landlord's permission with a one-page addendum, sign the agreement, get your keys, put the property on Airbnb. That's it. Did you hear me say anything about buying a property, spending $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 down in down payments? Did you hear me say anything about having a great credit score? Did you hear me say anything about interest rates that are terrible right now? Why would you ever want to buy? No. In fact, I don't care if you have a 350 credit score, no real estate experience, no Airbnb experience. I don't care if you have a 9 to 6 job and you got kids full time. None of that matters, because what I'm going to share with you in the next 10 minutes is how to find your very first Airbnb in less than 10 minutes by using the method I'm going to share with you. Guaranteed, if you listen to what I'm saying, I will have landlords eating out of your hand to do business. If I haven't given enough information yet, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I come to you every single day. My name is Investor Mike. I'm the #1 Airbnb educator on this planet because I get people results. I get your results quicker than anybody else. I became #1 because I was willing to do what 99% of people were not willing to do, and I'll share with you in a second what that is. The most important thing is this. When I started back in 2016, I didn't know anything about Airbnb. I thought Airbnb was, like, I couldn't even spell Airbnb. And I was like, all right, cool, I want to get into this. So I got an apartment, not knowing that we shouldn't start with apartments, we should start with single family houses or townhouses. But I got an apartment. 4 months later, Karen's knocking on the door and she's saying, hey, listen, this is not going to happen. Okay, not in this community. I had no idea about HOA. I had no idea about zoning. I didn't know all this. So 4 months later, my whole operation gets shut down. So I figured it out. And then today we're picking up 5 units at a time in apartment complexes. I teach a method where we start with single family houses, 1, 2, or maybe 3, and then we can go to corporate leasing, which I'll explain to you shortly, which is the apartment deal. But now becoming the #1 Airbnb educator, now I'm teaching my students the exact formula that I've been doing for the last 7.5 years. So if you want to get your very first Airbnb in literally 30 days or less, let me share with you what to do. Step #1 is you want to start an LLC, okay? Now, I'm going to recommend a state. This does not necessarily mean you have to go with the state, but I'm going to recommend the state of Wyoming. The reason for it is because it's one of the only states where you can get anonymity, which essentially means that your first and last name does not need to be shown on public record. So when people look up your company, they can't see that you own it personally, which is nice. People like that comfort. They like to be private. So that's a great state. It's less than $100. You set it up, your LLC. Okay, so once you set up your LLC, the next step that you're going to do, make sure your name is right. Change it. Try it. Check the name. Is this name available? Okay. B&B. Homestays. Whatever. Okay. Create a name, and then check it, and then go to your Secretary of State. Here in the state of Florida, we have sunbiz.org. So you just type in Secretary of State in whatever state you're in. Okay, and you'll be able to create it. But like I said, I recommend Wyoming because you can get the anonymity there. Okay, I know I'm saying that wrong, but anonymity. So what you're going to do now that you've created an LLC, okay, what's going to happen is the state's going to send you documents called articles of organization. While you're waiting on those documents, go to the irs.gov and get your free EIN number. Very, very important step here. The reason is because your EIN is like your social security number for you personally, but it's a 9-digit number that's attached to your business for tax purposes. you want to use your EIN. I'm going to tell you how important it is in a minute, okay? So you went to IRS while you're waiting on your documents, you got your EIN number. The next thing I'm going to have you do is go to dunnandbradstreet.com and get your DUNS number, okay? Free again, very, very important because we're going to build business credit as well. So eventually you'll be able to do corporate leasing, which I'll explain what that is in a second. Now, here's the thing. Last step. You've got your articles organization. They just came in, takes a couple days, comes into your email. You've got your EIN, which takes couple minutes. You'll have your EIN within minutes, okay? I went to irs.gov and got that. Now, you take those documents with your driver's license and you go to a major bank, Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, any of these major banks, Wells Fargo. Go there and say, look, I want to open up a business bank account. They're going to ask for those articles of organization. They're going to ask for your EIN number and your driver's license. You're going to submit it to them. Now you are a legal, legitimate business, okay? Very, very important because now you can build business credit and you can do corporate leasing and you're going to get your very first property in 30 days or less when you listen to what I'm about to tell you. Here's what you're going to do from here. Okay, get that process started. And while that process is started, don't slow up on everything else. The next step is while that's all going on, is you're gonna go to Zillow.com. You can go to Realtor.com as well. It's another great place to find rentals, but I like to use Zillow, but Realtor.com is another option. When you go to Zillow.com, all you're gonna do is you're gonna type in one of the cities that I'm gonna give you. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, Midwestern cities, okay? Great right now for Airbnb. Telling a lot of people right now, go to Midwestern United States. Cities right there are doing really well. Okay, I'll give you another few really good cities. Chicago, okay, right outside of Atlanta. I will tell you Charlotte, Nashville, Miami, outside of Miami, right? Not actually in the city. Instead of being in a major hub where you're gonna have a lot of competition, find cities that are about a 15 to 20 minute drive at the very most around the major cities. That's your nugget for the day, okay? So, like for example, if you're in Chicago, you have Aurora. If you're in Miami, you might have, Fort Lauderdale, right? So, Waco, Texas, St. Augustine, Florida, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. You might be, somewhere in Santa Clarita, California. I'm giving you some cities right now because what I did is I took 20,000 cities in America and I said, hey, let's take these 20,000 cities and boil it down to what I believe in 2024 would be the best 20 cities to start your Airbnb business in. Okay? And I just gave you a bunch of ideas. So when you go to Zillow.com, type in the city that I just gave you. Okay? And you'll pop on the right-hand side. You're gonna see all the rentals in that city. Now here's the kicker. Remember I told you how important it was for these people to be in pain? Watch what I did. There's the gem right here. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please take a second, subscribe to the channel, send me a nice comment, man, send me something cool, and let me say what's up to you and do a shout out for you, and make sure you turn on your notifications so every single day as I'm doing videos, you guys are getting the knowledge, okay? No fluff, just all real stuff. But here we go. You're gonna see a little button that says more, and when you click on that button, you're gonna see where it comes down, it says, how long has a property been listed? This is your golden nugget. You want to click that button and it'll have a drop down and you want to select 36 months. Why is this important? Because check this out. If a property has been listed for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 7 months, a year, guess what? The landlord is willing to not only negotiate, but they're willing to accept Airbnb, right? They're in pain. They haven't been able to rent yet. Maybe it's because their picture, maybe because their price is too high, whatever. They're in pain. They own a property. They're trying to rent, but they're not able to. So you catch a landlord where there's pain, there's gain for us as Airbnb host. So now in a case like this, right? Think about this. You've got a person who's in pain, and now what I'm gonna share with you what to do is we're gonna send them an amazing script that's gonna have them eating out of your hands, okay? So if you filter it by, property's been listed for several months, now it's gonna pull up all the properties that are for rent in that city we selected. Let's say St. Augustine, Florida, Waco, Texas, okay, Nashville, Tennessee, whatever, okay? Santa Clarita, Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Give me a couple of them. Philadelphia, Aurora, Illinois, right? Fort Lauderdale, Naples. So you selected those cities. Okay, now, LG, Georgia. What you're gonna do is on the right-hand side, when you see all the rentals, you've already filtered it by properties that have been listed for a long time. When you click on one of the properties, you're gonna be able to see the actual property. And what I want you to do is I want you to take my script and in comments, just put the word script, and then I'll connect with you directly. I'll send you the script that we use. My paid students get the same script, okay? They'll literally be eating out of your hand. So just put the word script in the comment box. When you click on the property itself, you're gonna see a little thing when you scroll down, when you're looking at the property, you're gonna see a thing on Zillow that says, ask a question. So let's say we filtered a property. We filtered it by 3 to 4 months. It popped up all the properties. If you just click on one of the houses and you scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to ask a question to the owner of the property. When you click that button, it's gonna pop up a screen. You're gonna take my script and you're gonna put the script, copy the script into the ask a question box. Here's what's gonna happen. If you do 10 of these, which by the way, should take you no more than 5 minutes, we get about a 10 to 20% return of landlords looking to do business. I told you this video is about how to get your first property in 30 days less. And I'm gonna give you the solution right here. Go to Zillow, filter by the city I told you, filter by property that's been listed for several months. Click on the property, take my script, put it in the ask a question box. Do that 10 times. When I say do it 10 times, select another house in the same city. It's gonna have all the houses right there for rent. So select another house, ask a question, take the script, boom, pop there. Pick another house, boom. Do that 10 times in say Tampa, Florida, right? St. Augustine, Florida. Do that 10 houses, do that to 10 houses, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get probably 2, 3, just out of 10 scripts. You're gonna get 2 to 3 landlords that are coming back and saying, hey, let's work together. Tell me more. I would like to get on a 3-way call with you. Let me see what you guys do. They're in pain. Remember, we're not just cold calling these people out of the blue saying, hey, will you let me Airbnb your property? We're not just doing that, right? We are methodically sending these people a script that outlines everything we do, and they're in pain because they can't rent their place. So think about that right now. If you're a landlord, you own a property, you haven't been able to rent it, and all at once someone comes with the solution of this script and wants to rent your place for 2 years, and it's gonna keep immaculate and for sale condition the entire time, you'd be like, all right, let's talk. At that point is when you get on the phone and you close the deal. At this point, negotiation isn't needed. Here's why. I'm always gonna negotiate 4 to 8 weeks of free rent on the front end. Now, why and how did I become the #1 coach? Because I was willing to do what nobody else is willing to do. Let me tell you what that is. What I do for my students, because you have no credibility. If you have no Airbnbs, no background, no references, no website, you trying to pitch a landlord, even though you sent them a script and they came back and said, tell me more, you're gonna get on the phone, you're gonna say, hey, Mr. Landlord, I love your property, I wanna put it on Airbnb and run a business out of it. And they're gonna say, well, cool, I'm not opposed to the idea, but tell me a little about your company. Send me your website. How many Airbnbs do you have? I wanna call a couple references, make sure you're not trashing the properties. I wanna make sure you're making your payments on time to these other landlords. And you're gonna say, I don't have anything. Okay, that's where the call ends. What I do is I do that for my students. I put my neck out there, my reputation out there, my Airbnbs, whatever they need, the website, the references. I do that for you to get your foot in the door. And I set up a 3-way call with you, me, and the landlord, so the 3 of us can get on a call and we can close the deal. That's how I can make a promise that within 30 days less, you're getting your property. Because I know my confidence, I know my background, I know what I've done, and I can get landlords to do this. I'm also looking for furnished property to help you guys out, so save you $3,000 to $5,000 there. And you'll never pay your first month of rent. And I want to make sure that property is bringing in a double. Okay? Before you ever get on the phone with a landlord, let me say this one last thing. Go to airdna.co. Okay? And my students get my $2,000 software for free. But let's pretend that you and I are not working together. Just get on airdna.co. It's about $200 a month. Okay? Don't get the free services. There are free services. For the love of God, don't use a free service. This is something that is going to be either the demise of your business or the success. The last thing we want is skewed numbers. Okay, now you could get on Airbnb.com, right, and then just search for properties, in the parameter. If you're looking for a 2-bedroom, 3-bath in, Tampa, Florida, you can get on Airbnb, search, see all your competition. How much are they charging? What do their pictures look like? What does their description look like? How booked are they? And you'll be able to tell based on what they're doing, how well they're doing. You can look at their occupancy and multiply it times how much they're charging per night. their occupancy is 70% and they're charging $150 a night, well then you know that 70% of the month is booked, which is basically 21 days times the $151 a night. You can pretty much tell how much they're making per month. Okay, it gives you an idea. What I look for in a guideline, so you guys, thank you for making it this far, is I'm looking for $150 more or more. When I'm getting on softwares, okay, like AirDNA, Mashdiver, okay, these are paid services, and you want the paid service because you don't want to get into this business just hoping and praying guests show up. Okay, so occupancy, I like to see over 65%. At least I would like to see more than $150 ADR, okay, meaning average daily per night. So how much people are charging per night, I want to see in that area that when you go to AirDNA, you'll be able to search a city and you'll be able to see what that city is bringing in. You want more than $150 per night on average, and you want more than a 65% occupancy. Okay, that's how you know, and at least 250 or more active listings. Okay, that's how you know that you have a good area to get into. Okay, so if you went to Tampa, Florida on AirDNA, look for those metrics. Is there more than 250 active listings in that city? Yes. Is the average daily rate over $150? Yes. And is the average occupancy over 65%? Yes. It's a good city. Now, how do we know that the numbers make sense? Okay, you'll look at your revenue. When you go into AirDNA, you'll see the revenue spot. Okay, take the revenue after you put in an address. Let's say you're looking up an address of 123 Lala Street in Tampa. When you're on AirDNA, take the address, put it in there, and it's going to pull up your annual revenue. At that point, take that number, divide by 12. That'll give you your gross monthly, and then remove your hard cost: rent, utilities, and cleaning. Rent, whatever the rent payment is of the property. Utilities, usually $200-300 a month, and then cleaning, I call $500 a month. And then the rest is your net potential profit. Guys, thank you for watching this video. If you have not taken a second, please subscribe to the channel. Send me a message. Let me know if you want the script by putting the word script in comments, and I will send it right over to you. I'll ask for your email, and then we'll connect, okay? I'm here to help you. Love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for wanting to do better. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's 2024. It's time to frickin' crush it. I'll see you guys on the inside. Let me know if you need my help. Let's roll.